Inspired by the book, The Psyche, God Within, within each of us flows a river. When we are born, this river runs freely without any obstruction. It has many moods. Sometimes it's a bubbling brook, gurgling with laughter and joy. At other times, it's a deep, quiet stream, flowing silently into pools of sadness and contemplation. And at times, it's a raging torrent, a flash flood of anger and frustration. Back then, we weren't afraid of its flow. All its expressions were our own, a part of our life force. But as we grew up, we began to build dams across this river. Every experience taught us to build another dam. When we were told crying is a weakness, we built a concrete wall to block the flow of our sorrow. When we learned anger is a bad thing, another barrier rose to hold back the torrent of our rage. The societal rule, people only like those who are happy and smiling all the time, became a massive dam designed to hold back all our true feelings. Beliefs like, I must always be strong, I cannot fail, and no one must see my flaws only reinforced the strength of that dam. We believed these dams were there to protect us, to keep us safe from the outside world, from criticism, and from rejection. But what happened? When the river stopped flowing, the water began to stagnate behind the dam. Flowing water is alive, but stagnant water slowly loses its life force, turning into a murky swamp. This is what happened inside us. As our emotions stagnated, they became a heavy burden, an inexplicable exhaustion, a numbness towards everything, a lack of interest, a constant feeling of unease. These were all symptoms of that stagnant water. On the outside, our dam looked strong and impressive. We stood before the world as successful, smiling individuals with good jobs. But behind the dam, the river of our life was suffocating. Then one day, something unexpected happens in life. The loss of a job, the end of a relationship, the passing of a loved one. In that moment of impact, small cracks begin to appear in our dam. Through these cracks, the water that has been stagnant for years begins to seep out. It emerges as sudden bursts of anger, uncontrollable crying, or as anxiety during sleepless nights. We don't understand it. What's happening to me? I was never like this, we think, terrified. We had forgotten that the source of this water was the river within us. That is the day we first turn our attention inward. Instead of trying to patch up the cracks, we begin to ask where this water is coming from. It's the beginning of a painful journey. Trying to break the dam all at once would be suicidal. It would create a devastating flood that could sweep us away. Instead, we tried to open one of its floodgates very, very slowly. Perhaps sitting with a trusted friend, we speak about our sadness for the first time. In that moment, a little water flows out through that gate. We cry, and after the tears subside, we feel the weight inside us lessen just a little. We realize that the flow didn't destroy us, instead it brought a sense of relief. When we feel anger, instead of unleashing it on someone else, we begin to understand it as a source of power within us. We learn how to channel that power in a healthy way. We start to approach each emotion not with fear but with understanding. Every such realization is like removing one stone from the dam. Slowly, as the obstructions are cleared, the river within us begins to flow again. Now its current is calmer yet more powerful. It flows naturally through the twists and turns of life. As the river begins to flow, its banks become fertile again. New colors enter our lives. We start to love more deeply, laugh more genuinely, and experience life in its fullness. Now we know that the river within us is not an enemy, it is the source of our life. The goal is not to stop it, but to flow with it. That flow is life. That flow is us. Inspired by the book, The Psyche, God Within. Thank you